There is. It's actually Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams or something like that. It's on Xbox now. I just saw the preview. It doesn't. I'm not going to get it because the trial didn't quite take me there. But if you.
Hello, listener. We are back with another episode of Old Guys Playing Games with Jason, Josh, Stuart, and Ken. That's me. Apparently, we've had an uptick in our listens and likes and subscriptions, shot up like a rocket. So Jason asked me to host this episode to see if we can't flatten the curve a bit. So let's get right into it. Let's start with some of the betas we participated in recently. We got Battlefield 2042. It's developed by DICE and published by Electronic Arts, EA. Jason, Josh, and I had a chance to play this beta. Stuart wasn't available, so Jason, since you always make me start, I'm going to ask Josh to start for us. Josh, what'd you think of it?
That was the worst thing I've ever played in my life. No, it was good. Like the graphics and the feel and the experience is way different than Call of Duty. You felt more immersed and it felt more realistic, but it was a little clunky in terms of like the controls and figuring out how to do what.
It's a beta.
Yeah, but they're not going to change the way you select grenade and the way you do this. It's not made for like that quick action Call of Duty, but it's definitely something that I think will be fun to play. But I still will probably defer back to Call of Duty.
Just to give our listeners some information about Battlefield 2042, it is a large map. There's a lot of players on the field at once. A lot more vehicles to be had. We got some air support vehicles that you can actually control, helicopters, planes. And because it's set up a little bit in the future, 2042 specifically, the controls are more complex. There's more technology that you can use at your disposal. You can use a drone. You can set your weapons on the fly. It's right there in the middle of the game. It's actually quite unique, but it also adds to the complexity, especially for someone who's used to playing Call of Duty and used to the controls of that game. It does take some time to get used to this new setup and controls. So, Jason, what did you think about this game?
Well, my short attention span prevents me from really appreciating games like this. But actually, it was a nice. We all said it was a nice mix between the ultra realistic and the very quick gameplay Call of Duty style that we're so used to. Somewhere in between, and I really love once we figured out how to get into the vehicles. When you went to headquarters, instead of just chancing upon a vehicle that might be empty or have an extra seat in it, when you got to go to headquarters and choose whatever was available, you could jump in a jet, you could jump in a different helicopter and different tank and armored vehicle. That was really cool. I enjoyed that part probably most. Will I buy this game? That's the question. I was just about to click purchase on a game we'll talk about hopefully later, but I'm not sure I'll buy this. I told Stuart this morning it might be the only game that I purchased until I saw this game that is the number one download right now for paid games on Xbox. Which way? I can't believe we've never talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on buying it either. I think I'd rather stick with Vanguard and then maybe buy FIFA or something like that. Different.
Speaking of Vanguard, when does that damn thing come out?
5th. November 5th.
Yep.
Okay, it's a little ways off.
I'll give you my 2 cents on Battlefield 2042. I really enjoyed it. I will say that maybe it's because it's a beta, but it was lacking some of the diversity from what we see from other games, different game types. This was just one big map, one mission type. You had to control the zones, but it was fun, and the graphics were really well done as well. The explosions and the change of pace for this game. My son and I, with Jason, actually played this game, and he really enjoyed it. But as far as whether or not I would buy this game, I have to say that I enjoy playing games with my friends. So if it's a multiplayer game like this, I would probably only buy it if my friends bought it too. If they were not going to buy it, I probably wouldn't get it because I wouldn't have as much enjoyment out of it, because it would be just me or me playing with people I don't know, which I don't really enjoy as much. The online multiplayer culture has become pretty toxic in the past several years, so I don't enjoy playing online and having to talk, or more specifically, listen to people on the other side. Moving on, we had another opportunity to participate in a beta with a game called Hell Let Loose. It's developed by Black Matter, based out of Australia, and published by Team 17. It is a World War II style first-person shooter, so the weapons are older, more familiar for a lot of people. It's a much larger scale, and the graphics are just beautiful. It is a slower paced game, much slower than the Call of Duty or Battlefield 2042, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's hear what Stuart had to say. He had an opportunity to play this with Jason and myself. Stuart, what's your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, your assessment was good. I mean, the graphics, because it's Unreal Engine, were pretty amazing, which we don't get a ton of on the Xbox, because I don't think there's a ton of Unreal on the Xbox. I think, and it. So I like the realism of it. I like that you can play all sides. I think there's too much of sort of you can only play one side or whatever. And it seems like it's trying to be, I don't know, much more of a sim game with a first-person shooter. Ken, so I think I go back to like I was thinking about Jason's attention span when I think about driving, right, Ken? And it's like, there's the driving games, and then there's ones where you can adjust the shocks and the pressures and the air temperature and all that kind of stuff. And like Jason would be like, let's get in and drive, right? And I think you can't. The problem with that game is if you jump in and you try to just do something, you literally run for like you have to hope someone comes by with a truck to pick you up to take you to the fight, right? You don't spawn near the fight, so it took too long to get to the fight, and then it was graphically so difficult. I mean, realistic, but graphically so difficult to see the other guy. So all of a sudden you're like, pop, you get hit. You're like, no clue, right? Or you try to flank them. So I think graphically it was really good. I think the gameplay was good. I think the gameplay itself was good. I think the game strategy and how to use it was frankly frustrating. And I think if there was a way to bridge those two things to allow for more of a instantaneous gameplay, but also I think you have to be talking to everyone on your team in order to play that game. And as you were rightly pointing out, we like talking with our friends playing games, but I don't like trying to coordinate with people I don't know, who don't know my strategies, don't know how I play. And so I think it's
you don't use thermals.
I don't think it's going to take off, right? Because I don't think you're going to get that many people to work in a coordinated fashion. I mean, if you try to get 20, 30 people you don't know to flank, right? Some idiot's going to run around with a truck trying to run everybody over, and all hell breaks loose, right?
Right.
Hence the name, right?
So were you talking about Jason there, or?
Right.
Jason, I mean, we knew Jason. I thought Jason would love the graphics, love the thing, but it's like,
did.
It's 90% running around, and then you die. And it's like, why didn't you just do anything?
The part that I think is, and you pointed it out, it's so ultra realistic that the thing that makes it really, I'd say, levels and levels ahead of Call of Duty in terms of realism is you can't so easily see the enemy soldiers.
Yes.
Where in Call of Duty, because they have the indicator and the color indicator above them, that makes it super lame in terms of trying to get a really good hiding spot and picking people off. And that I wish there was a way in Call of Duty to turn that off.
Those guys, right? I mean, if I hear Josh one more time, some guy camping or sitting down, laying
it's
down.
But if we all had that, the ability to hide in a spot, I think we'd love it a lot more. So, Call of Duty gameplay designers, please create a mode where all those indicators just shut off and you can hide in spots.
And maybe like a rampage mode where you don't have the indicators on it.
And no snipers allowed. That's my wish, is we could have a mode where no snipers were allowed.
Come on, that's part of the real.
I will say the one thing that really, really stood out to me, and I think you guys as well, in both games, was the how surprising the explosions were. So
yeah,
when we had planes dropping bombs and stuff like that, it was disorienting and it was shocking, but it was so well done, and it actually made us excited because it made it feel like you were really there. And I really enjoyed that. But it was also
great point.
A bit crazy.
Yeah, I imagine it would have been better. I mean, like, I was listening to headphones right, Ken, so I imagine it would have been even way better had I been in the, like an Atmos room or something. But the thing that got me was they overdid the controller vibration to the point of all I kept thinking was, there go my batteries, right? That's all I kept thinking. Because the planes that come in, they'd be dropping the line of bombs. They'd be like, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
The controller's just going crazy, and you're like, all right, that's sort of cool, but that's battery, right?
Well, these are just our opinions, but so Hell Let Loose will be released on the PS5 and Xbox X and S on October 5th. Battlefield 2042 will be on the PS and the Xboxes on November 19th. Now, go ahead.
I noticed on that Battlefield, when you went in, you know how the trial was only that one game type?
Yes.
It was like if you looked at the other game types, which you couldn't play in the trial, the one all the way to the right, I can't remember what it was called, but it actually had like a P-51. Like it was an old. So is this crossing eras, or is this like the name makes it sound like it's just?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's still the futuristic type battle, and it's not too far in the future. It's it's only 2042, so it's not like it's 3020. But no, I don't think that other game type is necessarily going to change the era of the game. I think it's just going to be a different game type, similar to what we were talking about wanting to have closer to Call of Duty. I think they might have some other type of games that make the game a little bit more enjoyable and then replay value.
I found the game. I found the game we're gonna play.
Yeah,
I'm buying it today. It's the number one on Xbox.
I'm very nervous.
Download right now.
I'm very nervous.
And I can't believe we've never mentioned this name. Of course, as soon as I show this, and you guys won't be able to see this at home, but then we'll start talking about it. Of course, Ken will know this game. I've never heard of this game. If you look at this game, I'm going to show it to you first, and then we'll talk about it. Have you guys ever heard of this game? It's the number one download in the trials and the photo, like the trailer photos. Nope. Holy moly. And it's co-op mode. So you actually are going into an insurgency in, probably Iraq and Afghanistan, but you play as a squad and it's all co-op.
Interesting.
It looks insane.
I've
never heard of it, right? Insurgency Sandstorm is what it's called. And there's a $40 edition, but then, there's the $80, $100 editions that have all the ultimate packs and everything.
Is there a demo?
There is not a demo, but I think I'm just going to try this $40 thing today to see if it's legit. But I'm curious if you guys, it doesn't look like anyone's heard of it.
No.
I have seen the title art, but I have not even bothered looking at it. But I will right after this. Moving on. There's one more beta that I think that 3, maybe 4 of us might actually try, and we'll report back on next episode. Is I heard NHL 22 is there's a beta for that, or is it just a free release for the
free
EA?
Trial. It's a free trial. I just played it, and it's pretty spectacular. However, what I remember about that game is it's not simple in that the shooting, the passing is trigger, and shooting and deking is with the right controller stick. So to get really good at passing and then quickly doing like a shot after a pass.
Yeah, that's the thing about NHL that I've always found. It is probably one of the most complicated controls for a sports game. And well done on the use of deke, Jason. You actually sounded like an athlete there for a second.
He did actually.
All-time rusher.
They sort of like crouch down and they launch the ball between their legs to the cornerback, and then they try to get it in.
Okay, we get it. We get it.
Let's move on to the topic I wanted to bring up. So I've been asking these guys, and I've gotten answers from most of them, so I'm going to start with Stuart. Let's talk about your favorite game genre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's talk, you can add more. It could be more than one, but I do want to kind of get an idea from this group what what favorite genres we played and some of the games that we played in those genres that we enjoyed.
I mean, forever or now?
Let's say now.
Yeah, I mean, I think now it's got to be. I mean, it's Call of Duty, right? So it's got to be a first-person shooter. But I prefer accurate first-person shooters, and I don't mean overly realistic. But like the one thing I like about Call of Duty is real guns, real action.
Is that thermal scope real?
Yes, it is real. It is real.
It's pronounced thermal, Jason.
That's right. And they do have compensators on their guns. I never was a big fan of the modern warfare, modern stuff. It's like I'm interested to play Battlefield with you guys, but I don't like it when I have a robot dog or some sort of drone that flies over. I just rather call in Spy Plane, which is realistic, than have a drone that I try to control. So it is first-person shooters where they have some sense of realism, even though they're not overly realistic, like Hell Let Loose or whatever it was, right? So that's mine, and I just think probably because it's just easier. I want to really like, we talked about this last time, I really want to like Age of Empires. I'm a history guy, if you guys know, so I love the idea of, but now, and it's the same thing with Assassin's Creed, right? But I'm the type of guy that wants to buy Assassin's Creed Greece, the version where you don't play, but you walk around and check out the historical stuff more than the game, right? So I don't know if you know you could do that, but you can buy Assassin's Creed, the whole, by the way, the stuff they did like on the ancient Greece and Alexandria and stuff were apparently like super. Like I was listening to an actual archaeologist podcast the other day, and they were talking about how they use it in class because it's that realistic.
Oh, wow.
And you can buy a version of just exploring ancient Greece instead of actually playing the game, which I think is that's an interesting place where video games are going. They have so much money. Like an archaeologist would never have enough money to do that, but a game does, and that they take the attention to do it. So it's that realism / gameplay. I'd love to do. I really want to like Assassin's Creed.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Stuart, because I could not agree more. When I get in that game, it's like beautiful, and it's just cool factor. But after 10 minutes, you're like, okay, I mean, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah, I fell off the roof again. Great. Exactly. Anyway, so that's it, Kenny. That's mine. Ken, sorry.
So I tend to agree with you. You brought up a second genre there, the sandbox, which is what I consider the Greek Assassin's Creed to be, because you can walk around and look at things and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And Assassin's Creed is kind of sandbox, but I do enjoy the action game like that, where it is you have a mission. You don't necessarily have to follow the mission right away, but to be able to continue the story, you do have to follow these missions. You have to complete tasks. So I do like Assassin's Creed. I have the entire series, and I haven't played them all only because of time, because I'm an old guy and I have a life outside of this podcast and my Xbox. But I do like those. I like the Tomb Raiders. I like those games, the adventure games.
I haven't played those
like
in a while.
I really, really enjoy those action type games. And of course, the first person shooters, I've been into those. Now, I do like the Halos, the futuristic type as well. A little bummed that we didn't get a chance to play the beta for Halo Infinite, but I have a feeling that I will be playing that because I think it comes out for those who have the Game Pass. But
December.
Yeah, December. So, and then. But I really don't like, and that's something else I wanted to ask you, Stu, is what genre do you not like? You do mention that you have a hard time with the Assassin's Creed portion of it, the mission part of it. But see, I don't like the strategy in the real role playing games. I don't like the MMORPGs.
They call them, like the World of Warcraft stuff and that kind of stuff. That doesn't interest me. So yeah, it's that kind of stuff that is it's open ended yet. I mean, requires you to put in like a gajillion hours, and
Yep.
The Sims.
Yeah,
those kind of things.
Hate it.
In theory, I said, oh, they're sort of cool, but like the Age of Empires thing, right? I don't want to have to go cut down wood and trade it for monkeys and try to figure out how to get the monkeys to build my. Yeah, I forget it.
Who has time
like
for
the
that?
simulation. It's like a life simulation.
Dude, I have a lot of patience for that.
Yeah.
So.
Right. You wouldn't even load the title. You'd be like, Call of Duty.
All right, Jason. Well, what is your favorite genre? Would you say?
I definitely am with these guys in that I do love the first-person shooters. But I have a sort of an odd guilty pleasure, and that is I don't even know what you call them. Maybe they're called platform games, but one that I played last night was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Is that a platform?
Yeah, it is considered a platform. Yeah.
So that is my if I know I can't play with my buds and I'm just gonna play something mindless to just to sort of escape. That game, number one, is absolutely gorgeous on the Xbox X, and it looks absolutely beautiful. But there's great storyline. There's really great gameplay. There's every once in a while you encounter the big crazy bosses that will take you a while to. And of course, after 2 attempts last night, I was like, I'm out. That's a little bit too much for me. But I will be back today because now I've been thinking about how to solve this one particular challenge. But those are my guilty pleasures, and the ones that I absolutely hate, I have no interest in, I just can't ever do it, are the fighter games, Street Fighter, any of those, like 2 people standing face to face, and they're going to jump over each other and crouch and kick and all that crap. The last time I was into a game like that was Karateka.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Or as I called it, Karateka.
That had a little bit of an adventure to it, though, did it not? Did it?
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
It had that was really good. I like that one.
Yeah, but I mean, that reminded me in the chat. One like Cuphead was a good example of one that I just want to rip my controller throw it out the window, right? Because it's like that's one where I want to support such a great genre,
right?
And visually, like that's really cool, and then it's like horrible to play.
The interesting thing about that one, I really like that one too, is that there is a storyline. There's 2 faces of it though. There's the one where you have a map and you're going to the different sections, but then when you're in each individual sections, it's almost like a different game type. They have like little mini games that you have to play and complete, and each one of them is varying in difficulty, and they're very challenging. But it was very cool to have the variety that you have in that one game. They weren't all the same.
I was going to say it's not skill lack on my side, not the skill that makes the problem. Because if I could get past some of the big boss stuff, it might have been okay. But I just hours plus I can't get past them.
I will say, playing that with another person, my son had played that game, and we really enjoyed that. And that it makes it easier to play with a second person to get past those stages. I will say that. Now, we played that one on the Switch, which I thought was very, very cool to be able to play that on that platform. But so, Josh, I have a feeling where you're gonna go, but I'm interested to hear what would you say is your favorite?
Well, I'm interested to hear where you think I'm going to go.
I actually think that you would say that sports games is probably your top genre.
So, first of all, I just want to say that sometimes with Jason, it's very hard for me to keep this clean. So, I just want some props for going against every comedic instinct I have. No, but. So yeah, I'm glad you guys all went first because it gave me a little bit of time to think. So I have 3, right? 2 of them are that I like to play alone for the most part, and one of them is Call of Duty, right? Like playing together. No, shooter.
Jason, you hate Jason.
I need to deprogram you. So yeah, Call of Duty, just check it off. We all talked about it.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto. I could play Grand Theft Auto for hours and hours and hours alone. Either with the story, and then just you can do stuff in that game that satisfies your darkest. Like you could sit on top of a roof, and people are just walking down the street, and you just snipe them.
Okay.
And then eventually, like, the authorities come and planes come down and shoot missiles at you. Like, it's a total guilty pleasure. But
I
was thinking
condone that type of behavior in real life, by the way.
Of course,
I just want to make sure we don't have to have a parental guidance on this episode.
Or, okay, Stuart, rocket launcher to a car that destroys the entire intersection and people are flying all over the place.
Because it's night, you can call it what you
want. But oh Lord, it's not a thermal though, so it doesn't matter. But then I was thinking about, okay, that genre, like, but then if I take something like, is it Red Dead Redemption? Like, I can't play that game. I can't.
Isn't it the same engine, right, Ken?
I believe it is.
It's Rockstar, right?
Yeah, it's the same company. Yeah.
But I cannot play that game because it's just too much nonsense of riding on the horse. You know,
right?
Grand Theft Auto, you can take it. You can take it any speed you want, right? Any level, anything. So that's one that I can't. I think there's a new one coming out actually.
There's 5s coming out.
So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, the stories are always great, and then you can not do the story and just screw around and whatever. And then FIFA. You were sort of right, Ken. FIFA is... I could play that. So sports games. Genre, sports games.
FIFA.
Yes, FIFA. However you want to say.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's funny. I love the Grand Theft Autos as well. However, the last time I played that was before I got an Xbox, because I was playing that on PC. And but I enjoyed it.
20 years ago, Ken.
I know, right? So, that was a long time ago, but I really enjoyed it. And then they had an '80s version, which I really enjoyed because of the music, because they had a lot of licenses with music that I thought.
Yes, I love that part too. And
so that was really cool.
I found my copy of it, and I remember, I think it's the original Xbox version, maybe. I tried to sell it back to GameStop to buy something, and it's a version where they won't take it because there's some like Easter egg where you can go. I don't even remember what it is. It might be something in a strip club or something like that, where they won't buy it back. They're like, we can't take this back. It was kind of weird, but yeah. So
it has something to do with it.
Stu will buy it.
Basically, it was got too much controversy around it. Is what happened, right?
Something like that. But it was an Easter egg. Like, it was something that you could unlock, and then I just don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. I didn't participate though.
I didn't say I participated. I just said they wouldn't buy it back.
So you mentioned a little bit what your worst was as far as the Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose one that was related to the sandbox, like Grand Theft Auto, what would you?
Is that the appropriate title for that game type? Sandbox? I've never heard this.
I thought it was open world
sandbox. Sandbox was the original. It was like a developer's code word for it, but it's open world. Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. I mean, I think any type of just button masher where you have to hit stuff in the same, like there's the Batman Arkham Asylums, they're so cool, like in terms of graphics and all that stuff, but it's like square, or green, whatever it was, and it's just too repetitive. So those
Yeah, I mean, that gets to the Cuphead to me. It's like when you've got to you can't get past a certain point unless you do this thing and you do it
perfectly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's no way around things, right? You're like, Arkham is a great example. It's a phenomenal game.
If I have to go to YouTube to look up the solution,
it's. Well, again, these are my favorite types of games because I have the patience.
Right.
Now, Stu, I saw one in the store today that I thought you would love, and I'll send you a link on the Xbox later. The Microsoft Store on the Xbox. There's auto or car mechanic simulator. And it's really great graphics. Stu is rebuilding a really cool car right now, but there's actually a car. There's simulator games for everything, even including goats. But this is the car mechanic simulator. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
there's the bus simulator, the farming simulator.
I just brought up one that I kind of like, but it's one I can't play for a long time. Or the what's it called? Horizon. Those auto racing. Forza. Yeah, and you can like modify your car and all that stuff. So I feel like that's something up Stuart's alley. Maybe.
Yeah, my son loves Horizon in Forza. You can drive around. It is almost like a sandbox game where you can drive around and sort of, and you're driving around in cool cars and all that. That's fun. It's just the interface for me that always gets like using a controller without having a seat and everything else. And then I start thinking, I need to go get all that.
Stu and I are going to do that at some point.
It's funny because that game has a multiplayer version or a multiplayer aspect to it, but I've never really had a chance to entertain that. Yeah. I would like to try to see what that's like, but
we can try. I mean, we can try. You know, the one thing that's funny. Some of the guys that I follow on YouTube that are more comic book stuff and other stuff. The one thing they do every Sunday night that's fun, and they record it, put it out there, and it's not safe for children or work, but it's hilarious. Is Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. That's fun.
Games to play together because there's quick, short games. You can smack talk while you're doing it. And I was actually thinking, there's nothing like that for the Rocket League. And that's
where we play each other. The four of them playing each other.
But this one's just because they get the wives involved and they get it's fun to watch. I'll send you guys the link, but again, it's not, there's some, not skip for work stuff, but it's just fun to watch. Like, they just have a blast. Like, we do a Call of Duty. And it's, it's obviously mindless, slip on a banana peel, make the jump, cut somebody off. Everybody gets shrunk down to little. I forget how much fun that game was.
That is a lot of fun.
That's a great point, and I wonder if we could get Call of Duty. Maybe we can in the custom games where we're playing each other. I wonder how much our competitive spirits would come out to where we would be pissed at each other that we're,
Well, you would win. Well, though Jason's been on a tear lately.
Yeah, well, it's the PEDs. That's what it is. It's the PEDs. It's the PEDs. I want testing done.
He's juicy.
Put it in the union collective bargaining agreement. No, but I wonder. I really wonder if we could just do because those like 2 or 3 times where somehow one of us got on another team. Mm-hmm. And it was I just have to find them. I just have to find them and shoot them. I don't care.
So, Ken, do you know if that's possible in a custom game where we do gunfight and it's just one on?
Yeah, we can. We can. As a matter of fact, Jason, I believe you and I got into an all for one.
Free for all.
Yeah, that's what it was. Free for all, and it was all. The funny thing about it was all melee weapons. So my goal in life was to find Jason and beat him up on the head with something. And
we need to try.
We both had so much fun and laughed so hard playing that. It was only one time we've ever done that.
But they have that. They have that game mode, right? You can do that on quick play. Just filter it to that. Yeah, we should do that because we can talk to each other, right?
Our own marital bliss. We should see if our spouses want to play against us in Call of Duty and try to beat us.
That would be funny.
Now moving on to, I'm not going to do a zinger. Okay, Jason likes his zingers. I'm going to save that for him. What I did want to talk about is some of the upcoming games that are coming out before the end of the year.
That's fun.
And kind of, I have a select group that I chose that I think that might spark some conversation, and that they're coming out, and I'll explain when and all that. So first one is FIFA. FIFA came out October 1st, and that's for the PSs, the Xboxes, PC, and I think 3 of us are all in on FIFA. I know I've started getting into it because my son, he plays soccer IRL, and we've been getting into playing FIFA, and he's right now upstairs playing FIFA 22. So
nice.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. So we've already talked about FIFA though, and then I think that we're all going to play that. So one game I thought we've never talked about, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever played it, but have you ever played the Far Cry series?
Yeah,
I looked at that. It looks really good. Is that like a puzzle? Like, I've never played it. I've seen it in store and I watched the trailer, but is it like a combo open world? You do puzzles or storyline, like a playable movie?
The latest one gives you that impression, but no, it's an open world, and I think it's first person. Josh, is it first person or third?
It's third person, right?
Third person.
But I feel like the ones that I've played are more like you have to solve something, and there's a lot of walking, and that's the kind of one where I'm not so much a fan of.
So the reason the new one, Far Cry 6, comes out October 7th on the PSs and the Xboxes, and also Stadia and PC and Mac. But the reason you're getting that impression is because this is one of the first games in a long time that we've had actual actors that have been rendered and played parts in this movie. I cannot remember his name, and I apologize. Everybody's going to jump all over me, but it's the guy that played the bad guy in Mandalorian. If we can.
Oh, Donald Sutherland.
I don't know his name, but yes, he was the guy in Breaking Bad. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yes, and he's great. And I think he's going to be. I think that role for him is going to be pretty awesome. But I'm interested. I want to kind of play it, but I don't want it to be one of those time suck.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Thank you, and I appreciate you getting that name for me.
Yes. It was a Google race. I saw the two of you.
He's also in the boys, Ken. Don't forget.
Sorry, a Bing. It was a Bing race.
Oh no. That's right, Jason. Get it right.
But I think that's going to be a good game. I think that would be fun. It reminds me of some other games that I've played in the past. So I think I would enjoy it. But I didn't know what you guys thought. So October 14th on all the platforms, the Jackbox Party Pack.
I have Jackbox. I have the previous version.
Yep, I've got really 1 through 7. They're all the games that they have are really fun. Some more than others, but they're all fun in their own way. But for me, it was always about You Don't Know Jack, the pseudo game show, quiz show. Absolutely hilarious. Always barrels of fun. And I really think that we should all get together and play.
We can. Can we do it?
And we get
multiplayer.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to win.
It's actually cool. It's actually really interesting because they host it on their servers. So what you do is, so one of us starts the game, and then it provides a URL for you to join via your phone, and that's your controller. So you send that out to your friends. They all join to that URL, and they play on their end. But we can all chat as well through our Xbox if we wanted to. But I just thought that was really, really cool how it was done.
Love it.
For those comic book fans, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy comes out October 26th for all the platforms. I have heard, if you've never played the Marvel's Avengers game that came out, I hear that this one is 10 times better. And I'm really interested. I love action games involving comic book characters, and I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy, especially because of the movies that came out. I really enjoyed how they're doing it.
Well, Ken, you and I should try it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying I know the other guys aren't huge comic fans as we are, but maybe we can try it if it works. We can, report back and then you guys jump in.
Yeah, I have the Avengers game, and my son and I play it occasionally, and we enjoy it. But there are some things missing, as they usually are. I think we need to dedicate an entire episode of our podcast talking about comic books, games that were made for comic books, and yay or nay, and how well and bad they've been.
The Marvel's Lego was unbelievable.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, some of those Lego games are surprisingly fun.
I agree.
Surprisingly fun.
Yeah,
even I agree.
Oh no, that's I think that's our show. But you can reach us on our website, oldguysplayinggames.com. There's a way to leave a message for us on Anchor, and we can respond to that, or maybe put that audio onto our show.
And as always, we thank you for listening. If you noticed on the last episode, there was a way to answer a survey. You can do that on Spotify only. So there's a survey with the last episode. We'll put another one out this time. Thanks for listening, and go download Insurgency Sandstorm.
I can't take that. I just can't do it anymore.